Hey, how's it going there? Thanks for joining in. Yeah, my pleasure. So, what are you up to this Saturday evening or afternoon? Um, Doing Flash, I guess. Yeah, do the Flash. It's a quick Flash sketch. Hey, Megabella, what's going on? Originally, I was going to finish the piece I started last week with the Wonder Woman thing I was doing last week, but I don't know where I put it. So, so much for that. Yes, it's reference. It's for educational purposes, right? It's a good reason to buy Star Wars figures or models. Sorry. No, definitely not toys. Toys are for children. Action figures are for real men. Or sorry, figures, not action figures. Hey, Art MJs, Art MJS. Artems? I don't know. Sorry. So what'd you get, Saint Works Art? What figures you get? Oh, Mike, much better, easier. What's going on, Mike? Yeah, so definitely going with the Flash here. Well, thanks for checking in. See, I'm not too familiar with the various Star Wars sets. I've seen some of them in stores. Some of the figurines are really detailed and like nicely painted. Haven't actually bought a figure in a while now. Oh, the X-wings are really nice. I've seen those. So just mechanical stuff. Yeah, so I was saying I haven't bought figurines in a long time. The last ones I bought were some Todd McFarlane spawns. Those insanely detailed ones. Found a 3-pack on, I think it was Amazon, for just like dirt cheap. I don't have them here, but they're really nice. Just nice to look at. And I got the one where he's sitting on the throne. I think it's medieval spawn, and he's holding a skull. It's like a foot long or a foot tall. It's really nice. Oh yeah, save the money. You know, I'm torn between, well, not really torn. I keep on debating whether or not I should buy a proper Copic marker set, but I don't know, I'm just not sold on them. Maybe it's not my cup of tea. I did decide to kind of dabble in the alcohol markers a little bit more, and I bought this Artist Loft Michael set, and they suck. That's all I got to say to that. I have a few Copics, and they're really good. The brush tip on them is really nice. The color's consistent. Yeah, the Artist Loft markers, like, they're half price of the Copics, but you really get what you pay for. I almost got like half of mine to just go back to the store and say, what is the shit? Probably won't, but yeah, it's just inconsistent. Like, here, let me show you what I mean. So this is the N2. Supposed to be neutral gray. So grab a piece. Well, this is slightly gray as it is, but so you can even see the tips already wearing out. I don't know if we'll focus on it. Barely use these, but look. See the lack of consistency in gray? Copics, you lay it down, it's the same. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And if you go over it a second time, like the Copics, and I have a few gray Copics, they'll darken it a little bit, but this is going to like N4, just getting really dark. I guess if you do a solid base, it's consistent, but that's not an N2. That's not a 20% gray as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not thrilled. Plus their scale's weird. N2, N3, N5, N6, N8, and then black. And the black's not really black. I don't know. Like I said, you get what you pay for. The lady at the store was like super sold on them. She's like, oh, you're gonna love these. And well, I don't, so. Oh, and they're already starting to fade. I barely used them, and they're starting to fade. Yeah, Artist Loft, I don't know. Kind of dragged. The Michaels is dropping real brands and making their knockoff Artist Loft equivalents, which, you know, I don't particularly care, but shit, quality control, man. Yeah, so saying they're good for sketch cards. I've seen some crazy detailed stuff that people are doing on larger scales with the Copics. But I don't know, like I said, I'm not sold. Like, I can't seem to get the colors I want, so can't really justify dishing out a couple $100 for a full color set. When really, I'm much happier with the results I'm getting from watercolors or even pencil crayons at this point. So my flash here is gonna look very angry. I don't remember the name of the actor that plays him on the CW series. That's probably because I don't really watch the show. I like some of the visuals that they show online, but I don't know, I tried watching the show and it's boring for me. Or maybe because I don't have an attention span for it, but I think it's kind of the same as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Tried to watch that, but it just didn't didn't quite connect with it. Though I saw the trailer or a bit from the, I guess, the Ghost Rider season. I don't know what season they're on now, 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. And at first I thought Ghost Rider looked a little goofy with, well, really messing up the shape here. With, I don't know, there's something weird about the Ghost Rider, especially the skull. It doesn't look like a real skull. What do I think helps me draw in the followers on social media? Consistency, I guess. I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out this thing. I used to do weekly YouTube videos, and I did that for like a year. Every week I did one. Not necessarily the greatest things, but it was consistent every Sunday. And it had built up a nice following, but people don't really comment or engage too much. So I don't think that was the right platform. And then I started Instagram like a year and a half ago, and I was on and off for a while, posting different kinds of things. Hello, Umberto. Yeah, I was trying different things on Instagram, and I think I got a bit of a flow now. I'm like doing more sketch cards or just sketches. People tend to like him, but a lot of people do this, the Instagram thing would kind of follow me, I'll follow you. I don't do that. Like, if you want to follow me, great. If I like your stuff, I'll follow you back, or if we're in the same niche. But I get all these people, like, all they have is pictures of cars and like beach holidays and stuff. It's like, that has nothing to do with me. I don't care. I don't need to see a picture of your watch. So they'll follow, and then a couple days later they'll unfollow. And like I said, I don't care, because they're not really an engaged user. My Flash is looking mighty angry. Don't anger the Flash. I mean, you'll get over it pretty quick. Yeah, exactly. If you like it, follow. If you don't like it, don't follow. You're not doing me any favors. But if you, I don't know, I don't want to bitch a little bit about Instagram. If you go check out, oh yeah, somebody ate his energy burger. What was I saying? Yeah, like, if you go like on the popular hashtags like draw or pencil or stuff like that, you'll see a lot of stuff come up. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good. But every now and then I'll click on a profile, randomly at times, and you see these people with like tens of thousands of followers. And maybe they're bot followers, I don't know. I don't care. But sometimes they have a really large following on Instagram, and they're engaged users, because you can see that there's a lot of comments and likes and stuff like that, but the quality of the work is just not there. And on the same time, you'll find profiles of people with phenomenal work, like really, really talented people, and they just, have a couple hundred followers or a few thousand, but some of these guys are pros. Hey Gail. Hey DOS Drawings. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. So something's not balancing out here with the ear muff thingies. Ear covers. Yeah, so a lot of these profiles with really solid work, and a lot of them are professionals, comic book industry, concept artists, people that do this professionally on a day-to-day basis, and are well recognized in their respective industries, and then they don't have a following. Now, they probably don't care, and I don't blame them. I mean, they're not trying to make a living or make money off of it, but it just kind of pisses me off when you see little Timmy with his crayon drawings of whatever it is, with 30,000 followers, and then like even Adam Hughes, I've been following since he had like 6 people, and I don't know where he's at now, but it took a while for him to pick up. And I think maybe he hired somebody to, or he's got someone on staff now that's doing the social media for him, because he seems to be more planned. But still, yeah, genuine followers versus fake followers. I'm just gonna find a picture of what his neck piece looks like. Does he wear a hoodie? No. He just has like a collar here. So let's do that. Yeah, thanks, man. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. His ears are really bothering me. But sometimes you just got to put pencil to paper and see where it takes you. Kind of like where this is taking me. So this is the second time I'm going with Instagram Live. I don't know if I'm gonna. Well, I'll probably do more of these because I'm drawing, so why not put the camera on? See if maybe somebody likes to join in. Or not. But what I find the beauty of doing this is that if you are looking to build more of a stronger social media presence, or just overall get more engaged with your users. I mean, live video is great because we're having this conversation, but also it's reusable content. So once I'm done with this, I'll stay as a story on Instagram or whatever it is for 24, 48 hours, whatever the thing is. But you have the option to save the video, which I didn't do last week, so I had to use a third-party app to grab it and repost it. Quality was kind of shit. It looks like I filmed it with a potato. So this week I'll make sure I press the save button when I'm done and see where it goes. But definitely post it on YouTube after, maybe on Facebook. See if anyone there likes it, or we'll share it. I mean, the long-term goal really is to get as a following as an artist. I don't do this professionally, just because I do other stuff professionally, but can generate some residual income out of my hobby. Why not? Right. Yeah, exactly. Might as well. Just if you don't have any distractions, or children, pets, whatever running around that would interfere, which I don't in the office, which is where I'm filming or broadcasting from now. Home, I got dogs running around and barking, so I could probably never do this at home. That would be kind of interesting to have the dog run across or steal my eraser, pencil, whatever. Yeah, you should totally do a video. What I actually find really cool about, yeah, kids, what I find really useful from the videos is if you watch your video back, like I said, I've done a bunch of these on YouTube, you really learn from your process and you can pinpoint mistakes. that you won't see in kind of in real time as you're working on it because you're so close to the piece. But when you watch the video, your eyes will wander across the screen to different pieces and see different components that you're working on, and identify, hey, I'm doing this wrong, or I did that wrong, and hopefully learn from it. There's a feature with the videos where you can add people to do, I guess, multiple lives at once. I'm gonna try that one day. That'd be cool for a commissioned piece, or for doing collab, and have both people live at the same time working the same piece, or their parts of their piece. Okay. Let's clean up some of these lines. It's driving me nuts. What lead is this? This is probably a 2H. Yeah, that's why it can't get too dark. Hey, well, thanks for joining you, and we'll catch you next time. Enjoy the rest of your evening or afternoon. Thanks, man. So I'll flip this upside down to see if some things line up. Something weird with the eyes. Ears are okay. You see that that's off center, the chin strap here. I find that it's like a lot of people, when they paint digitally in Photoshop or whatever they use, they can flip the canvas easily, kind of mirror it, which really helps you see any things that might be off that you won't see when you're initially looking at it. I obviously can't do that with pen and paper. I could probably get a mirror and look at it, but I don't know, that seems like way too much work for me. But you can always flip things upside down and see if lines are straight, if the curves are nice. Talk about nice curves. So now I'm gonna clean up this a little bit, and this is gonna be a fairly quick sketch. I'll wrap it up soon, but I do want to add a little bit of shading to it to give it some form. So just make sure to clean up some of these guidelines and reference lines that I don't want to show through, because it's going to be hard to blend them in anyway. So all these lines on the face, under the lip. Try to get a crisper edge. Don't know what the point of that line was there, so let's get rid of it. And I'm using a kneaded eraser here. It's not as good as your typical white eraser, but you can shape it. So it's really nice at picking up the little edges. So this is taking a little long, so that's why they invented the Tough Stuff eraser, which is really good. And the tip is not as fine as a kneaded because you can't massage into the shape you want, but it is a fairly well-shaped piece, and as you erase it'll kind of shape itself, so you can kind of carve out a nice chisel tip out of it, as long as you keep it on the same as you erase, you keep it on the same angle, and it just kind of eats away, as you can maybe see here. I am referencing a photo from the internet for the base, for the General Pose costume zone. Probably pull the lighting from that as well. I think it's a promotional poster for the show. I don't really know. But it's the Flash standing and there's lightning everywhere. I'm not sure what season it's for, if maybe it's some fan stuff, but it's pretty cool. So there's lightning all around him, like this, like that. I mean, so all the lighting's off from the sides, so all the edges are going to be really, really highlighted, and then all the pieces on the outside, going towards the center, or anything that's not towards the edge. So the inside of I'll call them earmuffs, the inside of his mask here, where there's a little bit of thickness. Same thing around his eyes. That's all going to be in shadow. So I'm going to get that nice and dark. I'm using a 2H pencil here, which is not doesn't get very dark. So it's a little challenging. Could grab another pencil, but it's like all the way on the other side of the desk, and that's so far. So I'm not going to do that. Just realized that this piece actually sticks out. So his helmet, these lightning bolt bits, or whatever they are, they're actually on top of the core helmet. So there's a little bump out here, they wrap on top. So what that means is that there's some shadow here, because if that's the helmet and these pieces wrap around like that, and they're a little thicker, and there's a edge there, and this is a little thicker than the inside of the helmet, so if the light comes in from here and from here, this part is in shadow, this part is highlighted right here, and then this is kind of a mid-tone. And that is, the helmet itself is curved, so that would be like that, and the thickness of the cowl or whatever, the mask that goes over the base helmet, casts a shadow here. So that's what we're going for, and that's what did in the photograph as well. But I do want to make sure I get this thickness defined right here. So This piece isn't going to be in shadow. This piece is in shadow as well. There's thickness all the way around, so this is also in shadow. This is also in shadow because it sticks up over the helmet. Try to get as dark as I can with this pencil softness. Get those nice hard edges. Like I said, the light's coming in, so we'll define a shape here. And what else do we have here? I'm just looking at other details. The earmuffs will cast a bit of a shadow on the mask as well. I keep on calling them earmuffs, but that's probably not the right word. Ah, the sketchbook. Welcome. So this is all going to be highlighted. That's the cast shadow of the mask. It's also highlighting around the cheekbone and the jawline, and this is going to start getting dark. The upper lip's a little darker. I guess he's wearing leather because there's a lot of highlights on the costume itself. So leather's shiny, it will just catch a lot of ambient light and reflective shadow, not reflective shadows, ambient light and shadows from things that are in the atmosphere around. But this part on the chin is going to be as dark as it gets, or as dark as this pencil will let me get. Okay, so now for the piece that's going to add that kind of wow factor to really create the contrast is just shade all of this in. That's in shadow, so let's connect those shadows together. The inside of the eyes. Let's add a little bit more shadow under the mask here. I think the tip of the eye hole here is going to catch an edge. A little bit an edge of the highlights, so I want to make sure that I define this edge a little better. Like I said, this piece is really dark because that's really in shadow. That's going to be highlighted right here on the cheek. Let's try to get this edge a little more defined. And the mask wraps around the nose, so it's not a hard line. I mean, it can be, but I mean, if that's the shape of the nose, you could just draw the mask like this. Which is fine, but it's a little bit more simplistic. Or you could look at cheap markers. If the nose is shaped like this, because the nose protrudes out of the face because it's got thickness, instead of doing just a straight line, when the mask hits the edge of the nose or the bridge of the nose, it'll curve up with it. So there's a bit of a curve here, and then it'll curve with the shape of the cheek. And it just adds that extra piece of kind of attention to detail that, you know, really stands out at the end. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. Nose. Okay, back to the drawing. So see, I'm curving the mask over the nose. The mask does have some thickness to it, so make sure that this line's thicker. It's not just a simple line. I don't know, let's add in some more of the core shadow. So this whole piece, this entire face pretty much is in shadow. His nose sticks out from the face this way, so has a highlight here that's kind of picking up from the light that wraps around. So right on the same way the face has a highlight on the sides, the nose will have a highlight on the sides. And on the nostrils. Everything else is in shadow, so it's a little hard to blend these 2H pencils. Yeah, unstoppable. Thanks for joining. As you can tell, doing a little flash sketch here. So now I have the entire shadowed, the core shadows kind of blocked in. I'm going to go in and add slightly darker pieces where I can. The pieces that are really, or the sections that are really in with no light whatsoever, so nothing's reflecting. It's just black. Well, as black as I can get it at this point. Really want to highlight, or not highlight, really define the edge of the mask here to make his eyes pop out a lot more. So Unstoppable, what are you up to this Saturday night, afternoon, evening, depending on your time zone? Of course, besides taking the time to join the stream here, thank you, by the way. Working on a Saturday night. That's what I should be doing. I should be working, but instead of draw instead. It's The beauty of being, or the disadvantage of being self-employed, is that the boss is always an ass and is always writing you. If you let him, anyways. Rain, sleet, snow, and Saturdays. Work at the postal office. Oh well. You in the States? I guess. I don't think Canadian. I'm in Canada, and I don't think Canada Post works on Saturdays. Could be wrong, but hey, art sketches, etc. Thanks for joining. If you haven't guessed it, we're drawing the Flash tonight. Hey, SG Cards and Toys. Thanks for joining in. Nevada. I've never been. I hear there's a dry heat. Or is that maybe just Vegas? Oh, thanks, man. Or lady. Humid heat. You know what? Toronto, and I'm out of Toronto, Canada, if I mentioned before, we have a serious humidity issue. So in the winter, when it gets cold, and we're in the same kind of climate area as New York City, so we get the same temperature or general temperatures, but we have this humidity that in the winter makes it crazy cold, also very strong wind. So it'll be like minus, like today I think it's minus 15 as the low, but minus 25 with the wind. So I don't even know why they bother reporting the normal temperature because it's windy, so it's actually minus 25. And then in the summer we'll hit 30s or 30, like high 30s. And sorry, we're Celsius. I'm not sure what 30 degrees is in Fahrenheit, but the humidity kicks in, and 35 feels like 45. And if you don't have air conditioning in your work or your car, then you're gonna sweat it out. And I'd much rather take the cold over the heat any day. So, not sure what the humid. I know what the humid heat is like, and I agree with you. It's no bueno. But I don't think you guys get snow, right? So saying before, these tough stuff eraser sticks are awesome because it's a really good eraser as far as white erasers go, but it's very stiff. It's very hard. Oh wow, I didn't know about it. Get snow. That it's not to sound ignorant. I thought it's all desert. Yeah, so I was thinking about these erasers. It's really stiff, so as you erase, it'll shape. So you can see, kind of getting a little bit of a chisel tip here, and then you can get into some really fine edges. And if you don't mind kind of wasting the eraser, you can just do this on a blank here and shape it a little more. And the refills for this are pretty cheap. I think you get like 2 for $1 or 2 for $2, so it's not really a big deal. But you can create this nice chisel tip and just pick up edges or erase fine details. I know there's, I can't remember the brand, there's one that's kind of like a mechanical pencil, so it's like a 2mm eraser tip. I see a lot of people that are doing insanely detailed graphite renders use them a lot to kind of pick up little pieces. I don't do that, so I never actually looked into getting one. Maybe I will one of these days, see what the big deal's about. But I find this works really well. And of course a kneaded eraser, which always works. Is there mountains in Nevada? Oh, there must be. I've seen pictures from Vegas, and there's mountains in the desert. I mean, Grand Canyon's close, so there's got to be, like I said, at least highly elevated points, even if it's not full-on mountains. So I'm pretty happy with where I ended up here. Just gonna add more shadow on this collar piece here, or whatever this is, just so it's not all white. And I think we'll call it a day for this one. Short and sweet. So actually, let's do, I think this will work. If I just get the general shape of some lightning bolts here. And I'm gonna flip the lead here to get the hard edge. Hope this doesn't ruin it. I'll just get a quick just to break up the background. And this should work, even though this is a very hard pencil. I should be able to get a little blend. See, if I thought or planned this out better, I would have done this on some toned paper, so I wouldn't have to worry about the background, and then just pick up the highlights with some white. But I think this is going to work just fine for now. Thanks, SG Cards. Enjoy your dinner. going back with the tough stuff, just go pick up the edges of that lightning that I sketched out. And I don't think the camera is really picking up the edge contrast, but I can see it. Oh, maybe you can. Yeah, you can see a little bit of it. So this one too. Yeah, getting a lot of eraser residue, which is expected. Yep. Flip the edge again. Actually, you know what? Let's use a real pencil for a moment here. And this is a real pencil. Yeah, so I'm just going to use, and this is just plain HB, just plain HB pencil here to bring in, really make the darks pop, and I'll just create a little bit more contrast. I'm not sure what we're listening to here, but this is getting a little weird. Okay. Yeah, this was a good idea. Contrast makes all the difference in art and photography. Get the darks really dark, the whites really white, and it'll create nice depth. Hey, Iskeletos. Ron Barry, Ron, yeah. Started off as Barry, but now it's a very angry Barry. It's weird because all the proportions are right, but doesn't look like him. So I'm not. I don't know what Jamie is. Is that the name of the actor? Or is that your name? Thanks. It's a little random at start, but hey, Starnerd, Starnerd. Ah, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. That's better. And Starnerd. I like Starnerd. That's cool. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that properly. Where are you from, Jamie? Yeah, see, I don't. To be honest, I don't watch the show, so I'm not too familiar with what it's about. I know what it's about. I know what the Flash is, and I watched the pilot. It didn't really wasn't my cup of tea. Actually, none of the CW stuff really resonates with me. I watched Black Lightning or Black Thunder, Black Lightning earlier, and I don't know, something just doesn't. I don't know, something weird about it. So I wasn't too enamored with it, and like I said, the Flash didn't really do it for me. Same thing with Supergirl, and then they have that what's it called? Something of Tomorrow, Guardians of Tomorrow, or something like that, which just looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. Maybe it's good, I don't know, but I didn't even give that a shot. Ah, Louisiana. Not a place I've never been. And someone in earlier from Nevada. I guess people from all over the world tune in, so that's great. Yeah, battle face, I like that. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's more geared towards teens. I find all the superhero TV stuff is more teen based. Gonna draw on that Teen Wolf or Vampire